Whoops. Okay, good. Sorry, I had to make sure it didn't accidentally have multiple layered voice this time around. Thank fuck. I made sure to take care of that before the stream started this time. I also got a much bigger jug of water. So, hopefully this time I won't completely blow my fucking voice out. But I make no promises because this is me we're talking about. Ugh. All right. Like everything's good to go. Like everything is legitimately working. Computer is working. All right. Now, I only read one of these headlines today. That's just because I needed a page to start on when I opened all of the articles this morning. So we're going to be learning about whatever the fuck happened together. We're going in even more blind than last week. That's how you know it's going to go. That's how you know it's going to go really well, if anything. Oh, god damn it. Am I out of sync again? Nah, it looks like it's fine. Alright. Florida man angry about cat in yard fatally shoots neighbor, deputies say. Okay. First, this is my local paper, so that's not a good sign. Second, I would have just shot the cat, personally. I hate the furry little bastards. Third, why do we have to start off with murder about animals? Christ, how did we get here? Also, hi, Magic. A 58-year-old Central Florida man fatally shot a neighbor after confronting him about a cat coming onto his property, deputies says Thursday. Clifton Anthony Bliss Jr., again, never trust someone with two first names. I don't know how I have to keep repeating myself about this shit or why it keeps coming up, but it keeps holding true. Moving on. Threatened to shoot the cat before shooting the pet owner, James Arnold Taylor Jr., another case of two first names, James 41, on Wednesday in Umatilla, the Marion County Sheriff's Office said, and yes, it is pronounced Umatilla. I don't know where that name comes from. I'm going to assume it's a Native American thing. Armed with a 22 only a 22. What kind of pussy are you? You could have walked that off. Armed with a 22 caliber rifle, Bliss went uninvited onto the property of Taylor's family where Taylor lived. What? Okay, as opposed to someone else's property where he lived, I feel like that statement's just redundant. Moving on. And shot the man in the chest, according to an incident report. Bliss was charged with second-degree homicide and is being held in Marion County Jail with no bond on Thursday. Okay, so that should be first-degree murder. This shit was premeditated. He actively threatened the man ahead of time. That's premeditation, which I believe automatically bumps that up to a first-degree murder. Basically, this man's never walking free again. This place took, and that's someone's address. Fucking Lake County. Yeah. Sounds about right. Neighbors told deputies Bliss had had numerous confrontations with people who lived near him over their cats and dogs, and he was known as a troublemaker and a hothead, according to the report. Bliss told witnesses on the scene, and also his wife during a phone call, that Taylor had assaulted him before the shooting. However, an eyewitness said she saw no physical altercation before the shooting. The detective investigating the case said Bliss's claim about being assaulted appears to be without merit. Look at this man. You mean to tell me that a man that looks as friendly as this would shoot somebody without warning? You're fucking with me, right? Also, I like how he looks like he's bald, but he's just got this one little section of head hair over here below his left ear. Or I guess for you it would be the right ear. You know what I mean. Let me see if I can make window capture pick up my mouse. Up. Okay, why is it not picking up my mouse? Eh, fuck it. Moving on. Alright. Since we started with murder, we might as well see if any of the comments have anything good. Guess the problem, the solution to every neighborhood problem. Florida man. Okay, see, Mummy of Osiris here agrees with me. How is this second degree and not first? Took a loaded gun on someone else's property and shot them. That seems pretty premeditated. Yes, exactly. This is premeditated murder. This is first degree. Probability of an upgrade of charge or adding new charges before going to trial. That's true. I'll fix that goddamn crazy cat lady once and for all! Or the man takes things. Keep your cats inside, people. Or just don't keep cats. Like, look, I'm not saying that Egypt should be paying reparations to the rest of the world for breeding those arrogant little fucks to think they're better than humanity. But I could use some gold from a pharaoh's tomb. Fuck cats. Florida man thought stand your ground meant go onto your neighbor's property and shoot him down. Yeah, basically. That has nothing to do with manifest destiny. Fuck off. Angry dude mad that he failed life. Nah. Relate this story to a gun enthusiast, and he and she will probably pin the blame on all the cat. Ah, Reddit. You don't understand how gun rights work. I'm sober. Mom charged with DUI after leaving children at wedding, police say. I can only remember ever attending one wedding in my life. Just the one, and it was my brother's when I was about 12. The last place I would want to be left is a fucking wedding. Weddings are boring as sin when you're a child who doesn't care. Mickey Doreen Beale, again, two first names, 31 of Edgewater, faces charges of child neglect, disorderly intoxication, and DUI for her arrest at Jupiter Beach Resort on October 8th. Is that a bruise around her eye? What the fuck is that? That looks like she got... almost looks like a shiner, like she got punched or some shit. Jupiter, Florida. Police arrested an intoxicated mother who witnessed a set try to fight people and left her children behind at a wedding in Jupiter. Ah, glad to see that the fucking headline buried the lead again. Because I feel like they didn't arrest her for just abandoning the children. I feel like they arrested her because she tried to beat the shit out of somebody. Again, could be wrong. Alright, if you want the link, hold on. Oh god, how do I get that shit off my screen? Also, state bans most employers from testing for marijuana. This is a local Florida news site, so I'm going to assume this is a Florida thing, which, good, legalize marijuana. I don't even smoke that shit, but it should have been legalized forever ago. Gotta... Oh, fuck off. Now you pop up. I had a legal question in literally the last article where a man threatened to murder someone, grabs a gun, goes onto their property, shoots him dead, and somehow is only charged with second-degree murder. When I don't understand how that's not premeditated and murder in the first degree. Green Beale of 31 of Edgewater faces charges of child neglect, disorderly intoxication, and DUI for her arrest at Jupiter Beach Resort earlier this month. According to investigators, police took a call about an intoxicated woman who drove away from the resort without her kids. Yeah, this looks like a woman who regrets having kids, let's be honest. Police say that Beale returned to the resort in a Chrysler van. Officers said she moved slowly, had slurred speech with glassy, bloodshot eyes, and smelled of an unknown alcoholic beverage. Probably cheap wine. Authorities said she became belligerent with officers. She said she wouldn't say how much she had been drinking, just saying, "I'm not telling you." She told officers she didn't have an ID or a driver's license and refused to tell them her name. An officer asked her again how much she had had, and she said, "I'm sober," according to arrest report. Once in handcuffs, police said she tried to pull away from officers and continued to be uncooperative. She also refused to take a breath test, according to what police wrote in their report. Police handed the children off to her grandmother. Okay, that explains it. The father isn't in the picture. So, yeah. That makes sense. Sorry, just something popped up on my phone. Hey, look! Another story of someone abusing an animal. We're 2 stories deep. Why have we already found 3 stories about cats? Sorry, pussies, because let's face it, that's what this woman is. As always, the brain trust of Reddit. Thank goodness she left the kids. Kinda. The fact that this one is compressed by default fills me with dread. I just read the first sentence. Oh god, Reddit, never change. She's kinda hot. Doesn't excuse her actions and lack of adulting, though. Hate this website on it. Sorry, just... Why is his neck as thick as his head? Christ. Florida man arrested after throwing a G at a woman. Now, my first thought is, wait, do they mean like a grand? Like he threw $1,000 at her? No. Jordan Thomas, 26, was arrested on Tuesday, October 19th for attacking a woman with a signage letter. This bitch threw a sign! What the fuck? Also, that's the face of a man who doesn't have a lot going on in his brain. Like, look at his eyes. He's just staring off in the middle distance. His mouth is hanging open. A Florida man appears for arraignment ended up behind bars again Tuesday, October 19th, after violating the letter of the law, as the Smoking Gun put it. Fine, just move on and don't. Authorities in Indian River County arrested 26-year-old Jordan Thomas. Again, 2 first names. This will become a running theme, I'm sure, today, because everybody has it. For allegedly battering a woman at a courthouse. But what he used was the bizarre part. An arrest report claims that Thomas took, quote-unquote, a signage letter from the blackboard in front of courtroom 3 and threw it at Shantaria Roll, a 23-year-old Vero Beach resident. The letter G ended up hitting the victim, cops say. Thomas, an Amazon driver, was being arraigned for misdemeanor charge of battery. Reporters. He was accused of attacking Roll in September, authorities confirmed. Officials say they caught the chaos on video while they were in recess. 26-year-old is being held without bond in county jail. He faces charges of battery and violating the terms of his pre-trial release in the prior case, which included a condition that he have no contact with Roll. Some wild assaults have occurred before in the Sunshine State. A woman was handcuffed for throwing a plate of chicken at her boyfriend. A couple found themselves behind bars for throwing spaghetti at each other. Thanks, iHeartRadio. That all you got? Bro, this could have been a series of like 3 tweets. Fuck you. This isn't an article. Fuck you, Zuri Anderson. And today's video is brought to you by the letter G. G for guilty, bitch! Prosecutors plan to throw the book at him. better for the recipient than K or X, I guess. A or I could be deadly if thrown at sufficient speeds. Wait, so if it was one of those little, if it was the billboard I'm thinking of, then those are like little tiny letters, right? They're like an inch tall. Christ. This man is going places. Yeah, like jail. Hey is brought to you by the letter G in the Florida Department of Corrections. I'm not sure if you have to be a certain age to get this. I like your cut, G. I thought this was Sesame Street with them throwing letters. Yeah, that's the thing. Florida just has public records of every single criminal who's ever been arrested in this state, dating back decades. Which I wish more states had. I feel like that'd be a good thing if they were just far more common. But hey, what do I know? All it takes are all letters taken now? I guess U is the only letter you can throw at someone without being hurt because it'll probably come back like a boomerang. You're just hurting yourself that way. Fuck you. Fuck your little cake symbol. What the hell does that even mean? Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Can't drop the hard G. Surprised there aren't any GG comments in the chat, personally. Fucking hell. Watch exclusive video. Dog thieves get into gunfight with woman who was selling micro bullets. Bullies? What the fuck is a micro bully? We'll watch it. West Park, Florida. A South Florida woman was nearly killed over two dogs she was... Oh, micro bulldogs. Okay. South Florida woman was nearly killed over two dogs she was selling. She got into a shootout with 3 attempted dog robbers Monday night, and the entire ordeal was caught on camera. The video was obtained exclusively by Local 10 News. One of the suspects, a 16-year-old boy, has been arrested, the Broward Sheriff's Office said on Wednesday morning. Investigators believe the other two are also juveniles. The woman said she was in fear for her and her girlfriend's life and was forced to open fire after a group of young men started shooting at her. A bullet narrowly missed her, and she ducked behind her car for cover. We got a knock on the door, she said. I noticed one of the people's faces. The 3 boys were clearly seen in the Ring video. And went to the woman's West Park home around 7:30 p.m. She said she breeds exotic dogs and figured they were trying to inquire about them, but she said she noticed something seemed a bit off and asked, what the hell is going on here? As soon as I turned around, that's when he grabbed me, and his boys got all frantic. One of the men grabbed the woman, holding her at gunpoint, and there was a struggle. As soon as I turned around, the other guy was standing here. When he went to put his arms around me, put a gun to my head, and I started screaming, trying to wiggle myself out. The trio took off with 2 micro-bullies. They were worth about $4,000 each. The 2 robbers didn't leave quietly either, hooting at the woman, which is what got her in, which is when she goes into her home to grab her gun. I would have done anything to protect my girlfriend in my home, and my biggest goal was to make sure she was okay and we lived to see tomorrow. The Broward Sheriff's Office investigator said the woman was defending her home and she is not facing any charges. Deputies said there were 4 men in total involved and that someone was waiting in a getaway car. They're actively investigating and would like the help from the police. Anyone who thinks they recognize any of these men or have any information about the crimes urged to contact Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS. Let's see this video.
And only on Local 10, a homeowner getting into a shootout with a trio of men who she thought were customers looking to buy her puppies.
And the woman you see right here says that she actually feared for her and her girlfriend's
lives. What the fuck is that shooting posture?
At gunpoint. Now there has been an arrest in the case. Local 10's Anela Sabovic broke this story and is live with the new details.
Fucking hell.
And we just learned a few moments ago that 1 out of those 3 suspects accused of stealing 2 priceless
I didn't just turn that down. It just got quieter.
While armed, has been arrested, a 16-year-old boy. And as you mentioned, as these suspects were leaving the home, there was a gun battle between the homeowner and the 3 of them. It is pretty wild video. I want to take you straight to it right there. Now, all of this happened Monday night at this woman's West Park home.
Anyone identify what type of gun that is? I'm curious.
Face is clearly visible in her Ring camera video. She told me that they were inquiring about her micro-bully puppies that she raises. And when they went inside of her home, the victim says that she was held at gunpoint. She got into a scuffle with them.
I like how that guy came
they
back.
Took off with two of her dogs valued at $4,000 each. There was, again, a gunfight. The suspects allegedly fired at her, and she got her gun and fired back. One of those bullets narrowly missing her head. She was not injured in all of this and will not face charges. As detectives tell me, she was simply trying to...
She is aiming in the direction of other people's houses. She is incredibly lucky she didn't hit somebody.
For armed robbery with a firearm and for shooting into an occupied dwelling. Detectives tell me they're still searching for the other two that are involved in this, but they're still welcoming help from the public. If you can assist, give BSO deputies a call, or you can remain anonymous and call Broward Crime Stoppers at 954.
Word of advice, though, if you're ever in a shootout and you have to hide behind a car, hide behind the engine block. Don't hide behind the trunk. A bullet can go through that. A bullet can go through a door. A bullet can go through a window. That shit ain't gonna pierce an engine block. That's the thickest thing on that car. So that's the best place to hide. Oh, sorry. Replayed the video. Now let's see if this is the actual video or just another... It's just another news video. Okay. That's because they filmed the first 10 seasons of Cops in Broward County. You are correct. Though I think it might have only been the first 9. It was the better part of a dozen. I know that. Let's see. I read this as 3 dogs and got hella confused. Yeah. When I read the title for the first time, I was like, well, let's see if she... Well, let's see if she did it like a real Florida woman. Holy shit, you can't get any more Florida than that. Yeah. Spraying bullets everywhere. What a moron. That's what I was saying. Unfortunately, I have to take away your sick update because fucking Game of Thrones. All these bullets over dogs. No charges, even though she's not looking at anywhere she's firing these stray bullets. Hey, Florida. Florida. Yeah. Stupid fucks and more stupid fucks. America. Bring on the downvotes. Okay, fuck you. 3 Dog Robbers is my next band name. I mean, that's a... Fuck you, cat burglar guy. Aw. I mean, yes, but the thing about that is, A, that's assault with a deadly weapon, and B, you can't do that with alligators because they are technically considered endangered. Or at least I believe that particular species was at the time, and he... Basically, it's like throwing a panda at somebody's head. It's cool, it's unique, you're going to jail for a long time. Now I want to see a story out of China where someone throws a panda at someone's head. They're not considered endangered anymore, right? I remember hearing something about that last time. Or last year. Florida puppy mill owner fights off 3 other morally bankrupted people. Yeah, basically. Having that weapon just so she can plainly spray bullets at her neighbor's houses, of course. Yeah. It owns a neon green truck. Now these pre-shrunk comments are always my favorite ones because you never know what you're going to get. Like there was that last one simping for the drunk mother who abandoned her children. Let's see what we get this time. All y'all are talking shit about Florida. Don't come to Disney or anything park or come to the beaches. Don't come in the winter when it's nice. And most importantly, don't bring y'all's ass to live or retire. Florida, born and raised. We crazy. Woo! It's written by that one fucking guy from Spring Breakers, played by James Franco. Because that reads like that dude from Spring Breakers. Yeah, it's just a bunch of circles. If there's one thing you can always find in a Reddit comment section, it's people circle jerking about things they don't like. Go on to r/politics and just control F Trump. Even in 2021, months after he's left office, there's always people complaining about it. It's fucking funny how sad it is. Okay, this is just another version of the cat story we read earlier without the funny mugshot and no comments, so we're just gonna move on. Man, I'm just looking at this thumbnail and thinking, okay, what 80s action movie is this from? Because this, like, I could see this shit on Miami Vice. Or Vice City, take your pick. Driverless boat in Florida spins out of control, smashing dock. From Port St. Lucie, 3 men conducting a photo shoot on a boat in a busy Florida river somehow went overboard, leaving the 24-foot vessel unmanned and out of control. Wait, how did all 3 guys fall off a boat? I don't know if any of you have ever been on like a riverboat like that. It's hard to fall off if you're not deliberately trying to fall off. I'm speaking from experience as someone who has. Unless you hit a really big wave and get some airtime and flip over the side, you're probably not going out because those decks are about 4 feet down. from the wall and it comes up to your waist. Also, hi, Krugs. 3 men told deputies that they accidentally fell into the St. Lucie River along Florida's Atlantic coast on Saturday, leaving the boat unmanned. It circled around the men numerous times, forcing them to dive underwater so it wouldn't run them over. The boat then straightened out, hit a concrete dock, went airborne, hit a second dock before coming to a stop, the Martin County Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post. These men were able to swim to a nearby sailboat. One had a minor injury, the Sheriff's Office said. An investigation into the cause has been turned over to Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. So were they, like, filming a video and they had the boat on full speed or something? Because this just sounds like they didn't come to a complete stop and they just did a stupid turn and fell off the side. Confused. Though that also raises the question, so did it launch itself off the first dock and crash land on the second, or did it just land in the water and keep going? Because I really hope it's the first one, personally. It's probably not. But what can you do? Let's see what the Facebook post has to say about this. Ooh, it's a video. Why is it silent? Oh yeah, whose insurance pays for the dock? That's a good question. Is it the boat owner? Was it the driver if it was someone else? All right, let's see how this works. I mean, it looks like there's someone on there, though. Oh. Lame.
Heroin, so it just ran over one dock, hit another, and it's on the beach now, so the boat is stopped. We're looking for the occupant.
10-4.
Fuck off, Facebook. I hate how Facebook makes you have to log in to see it on there. It's incredibly frustrating. This was a year ago when you couldn't even get the video. Wait, that was from last year? Ah, son of a bitch. I try to go with recent stories. I guess that's my fault for not actually reading it. And it's just some people bitching in the Reddit comments as usual. I accidentally opened up the Reddit link twice. Or close that because that's also this one. Thank God there's so many less articles from last time. So that way my voice won't be completely shot. Because last... Oh, God damn it. It's in... God damn it. Tampa mom pulls kids from school over masks so they can still play sports. Wait, she's an EMT? Okay. And she wants the districts to pay $5,000 a day per child for everyday sports. Okay, yeah, nope, not reading this. That's just some Karen bullshit. I don't care. I should have not left the Karen bullshit. Oh, God. Oh, God. What are you doing, step-goddaughter? Fucking end me, please! Okay. 61-year-old Florida man faces backlash for marrying his 18-year-old goddaughter. Why? Why do I do this to myself? Why is this my life? A 61-year-old Florida man is under fire after news of his wedding went viral for all the wrong reasons. Michael Hogabrook is being labeled as a predator after he was accused of marrying Deja Hogabrook as soon as she turned 18. Deja is also Michael's goddaughter, and the two shared a family history prior to the controversial nuptials. Word of the union surfaced online through a tweet claiming that Michael had started dating Deja after he dated her mother, Davina Evans, first. Alexa, play Sweet Home Alabama. Yes, I know it's about Alabama, but Leonard Skinner are from Florida. It's fine. You guys, this girl is 18. She just married her godfather who used to date her mom. He's 46 or 47, the tweet read. They have a 2-year-old daughter and he has 3 other Wait. Hold on. 18 sub 2 is 16. Oh, God. Ew. Well, we peaked. We're not getting better than this one today. Pedophilia, incest. Why the fuck not? How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes. Oh, that went up my nose. Ah. Also, how do we jump from him being 46 to 47 to 61? I mean, at least the 3 other kids are from a different relation. Are the 3 other kids her siblings? Are the 3 other kids her siblings? Are they from when he was boning the mother? Because these are the questions that really need to be answered. Well, the tweet claimed that Michael was in his 40s. Others online claim that a document from Michael's 2014 arrest showed he was 54 at the time, meaning he's now 61. Old photos show Michael holding Deja when she was just a toddler, further hinting at the family dynamics they once shared. In receipts posted online, Michael's old Facebook post shows him referring to Davina as his goddaughter, with Deja's mother thanking him and saying, "Love you, babes." Deja was 17. She admitted to dating someone, but kept his identity a secret until she turned 18. After recently getting married, Deja became a trending topic online due to the people saying Michael groomed her because he did. Deja has since released a statement in response to public scrutiny defended her husband stroke godfather. She believes everyone is just jealous of the life she lives while other girls her age chase boys who are sleeping around. Rapper Kodak Black even chimed in on the story, saying his father did the same thing to his mom by leaving them to go pursue a relationship with his goddaughter. This story goes without saying to be careful of who you choose to bring around your kids. Kodak, are you related to this guy? Is this guy your daddy? Is that where this is going? God damn it. I took a shower before this. Why do I feel like I need to take another one? Okay, so these two get it right, calling him a pig and telling him to rot in hell. And then there's Cammie Watson. I'm going to read this in full, and I'm going to regret it. I hope they marriage lasts till death because ain't nothing wrong with it. I see a lot of you don't read the Bible. Our people have been doing this type of love for decades. Ain't nothing wrong with this kind of love. All allowed paleface to tell y'all own history is wrong. What the fuck is wrong with y'all black people? Wake up. Wow, that line's gonna get used against me one day. Holy fuck. Wake up already, sheeple. That man ain't nasty, nor is that young woman bamboozled. A man is our culture, biblical black people. In our culture, biblical black people allowed to have as many wives as he can take care of. So what he dated her mama. I got nothing. Oh, God. Fucking Christ, dude. We call this the Woody Allen move. Fun fact, Hollywood director Woody Allen is married to the daughter he adopted. Fuck Woody Allen. The bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. But technically Mia and Woody weren't even married and wait, what? I have no idea what this guy is going on about. Take me by the hand. What? Wait, okay, what the fuck is this? I saw the link. I just need to read. Had affair with his step-granddaughter. Alleged murderer? Oh, alleged murderer. Well, we're just going to move on from that. I'm not going to think about that. I'd rather not. Just married a 61-year-old Florida man. I look 61. I mean, yeah, fair, actually. Black toe crack, homie. Crack, homie. Oh, crack, homie. I need to sleep. Oh, boy. That one's dark. It's like Killer Mike in the thumbnail. Run the middle schools. Oh, God, I'm going to hell. He the father of her 2-year-old? Yes. Oh, he is not the father of the 2-year-old, apparently. Okay. We're going to need to get Maury Povich on this shit because I don't want to think about it. Guys, they have a lot in common. Family reunions are going to be a blast. Every day a family reunion. Every day's a family reunion when you're an incestuous pedophile. Yeah, she's 18, so it's just incest. Yeah, and they were dating for 2 years, buddy. Do the math. Alabama, man. You don't want to scroll down any further. The bottom of the comments is a nightmare. MGTOW incels abound. Sounds like... Ah, yes. Reddit complaining about MGTOW incels. Fuck off. I need to see this shit now out of spite. Fuck you, Coolio. I'm trying to find the creepy incels. Where are the creepy incels? Killer Mike be wild. Okay, yeah, so someone else saw that. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. There's more than one. If it's not illegal, then what's the problem? Okay, that's just someone bitching about the LGBT yada 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 yada. I don't know, seems like a good investment for her. God mode activated. What does that even mean? Okay, yep, that's just weird. Don't... Remember, kids, don't fucking defend incest, please. Like, I don't feel like I should have to explain that to you guys. Ah, funny. I did laugh. At least she's of age. Now. They're both consenting adults. What's the problem? The 2-year-old daughter they share? Early childhood grooming? Because he's groomed her since she was a baby? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna give this guy a... Wrong color. I do not condone. I do not agree. I do not approve. Fuck you. First read his granddaughter. Okay, I get where this guy's coming from bringing up Crusader Kings like that, because if you've ever played Crusader Kings 2, you have had to engage in a lot of incest to get ahead in that game. Florida man says he smoked THC to get himself ready because Jesus was returning. Okay, this is another old story, but fuck it, I don't care. Is this a mugshot or is he getting a fucking haircut? What the hell is he wearing? Also, I guess that just means Kanye was coming to town? Vero Beach, Florida. A man was arrested for DUI, and Vero Beach said he smoked THC to get himself ready for the return of Jesus. An arrest affidavit from Indian River County Sheriff's Office said that he responded to the Outlet Mall on 94th Drive on Saturday afternoon after receiving a complaint about a man who smelled like alcohol, was stumbling around and had slurred speech and was driving around the parking lot. Upon arrival, deputies said the man identified as Carlos Alexander Guillen. Again, 2 first names. I'm going to keep hammering this fucking point home. Was parked with the vehicle still running. The smell of alcohol could be detected from the vehicle, and a half-empty bottle of Hennessy was located in the back. You know, I don't think it was the THC that fucked him up and he had half a bottle of Hennessy. After asking for when asked for his driver's license, Guillen reportedly gave the responding deputy his vape. Guillen, with a slurred speech, told the deputy that THC was inside of it. Guillen looked to be disoriented, drowsy, and alcohol could be smelled on his breath. He did admit to drinking some Hennessy. He also said that he'd smoked 400 milligrams of liquid THC in his vape, which he understood was illegal. Well, that's good at least. Guillen went on to tell the deputy he had smoked the THC to quote-unquote get himself ready because Jesus was returning, the arrest affidavit stated. He also said that he believed he was in Tampa, although he was actually in Vero Beach. Guillen was placed under arrest and transported to the Indian River County Jail for booking, where he provided 2 breath samples of .211 and .219. Well, he gets points for trying. I will give him that much. Drunk as a skunk and the THC was what they focused on. Of course, they will try to demonize it as much as possible. Haha, Reddit smokes le weed. Fuck off, Christ. We get it. Legalize pot. You don't need to be so fucking smug about it. About the part where he was driving, nobody should care if you fucked up in safety of your own. Yeah, basically. Gotta... Jesus, Florida man, don't fuck around. Bunch of people talking about their weed experiences. Okay, yeah, this is important. He basically had a 0.2 blood alcohol content, meaning 0.2% of his blood, or about 1/5%, was alcohol. The limit of most states is below 0.1. If not all states. I don't know the amount for every single one of the 50 individual fucking states, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Like 0.08%. 0.05 in Western Europe. There's nothing good here. Going after Jesus after only 400 milligrams? Weak. I considered about 400 milligrams of my coffee this morning. You guys are reading it wrong. He didn't say Jesus. He said Jesus. Yada, yada. And it's just a bunch of people complaining about weed. Article? Okay, this is just a bait and switch article. Because the fucking link here says, Florida woman returns to her RV after months away, finds stranger skeleton inside of it. And Actually, the Cuban sandwich was not invented in Tampa, says historian. University of South Florida librarian Andy Hughes working on a book about the history of the Cuban sandwich. Not gonna lie, I always figured it was invented in Miami. Or, you know, Cuba. Cuban sandwich, blah, blah, blah. Made by the... For a while, historian... Wait, so is this guy an assistant? Is this guy a librarian or a historian? For a while, historian Andy Hughes was the go-to guy for reporters looking for a quote about Tampa's Cuban sandwich. He fielded calls from the Wall Street Journal, Savior, and others. The resulting articles are often repeated a tale you've likely heard that the Cuban sandwich sprang forth from Tampa's Ybor City. Yes, that is in fact pronounced Ybor. I don't get it either. Before the turn of the 20th century, that was popularized as a cheap portable snack for the immigrant laborers. Unlike cigars, Hughes wrote himself in a 2006 issue of Cigar City magazine. One could argue that the so-called Cuban sandwich was more Tampa than Havana. That makes his statement on a recent episode of the food podcast Gravy a bit surprising. Tampa, Hughes said, didn't invent the sandwich. Wait, so the cigar-rolling ghost of Ybor just spit their cafe con leche all over the 7th Avenue? This doesn't need to be here. Fuck off. Before any prideful Tampa residents get too upset, Hughes isn't saying Tampa isn't a factor in the Cuban sandwich's evolution, and he isn't saying the sandwich isn't a part of Tampa's history. He's definitely not saying Tampa isn't a great place to eat them, but Hughes, the author of several Tampa history books and special collections librarian at the University of South Florida, and an avowed devotee of Tampa-style sandwiches, has long felt the rigorous research in the Cuban sandwiches was lacking. He has spent the last couple of years working to change that. The Cuban Sandwich, A History in Layers, which Hughes co-authored with USF professor Barbara Cruz, who was born in Cuba, and former Tampa Tribune food writer Jeff Hoek, will be published by the University Press of Florida next year. Everyone in Tampa will tell you a different story with passion and certainty about what their grandfather said told Tampa Bay Times. But I decided if you're going to write a book before anyone's living memory, I'm not trusting anyone but the written sources say. Hughes tracked down documentary evidence, mostly in the form of old newspapers and menus. The book cites about 500 sources, including many from Cuba. Okay, so I was right. Based on all that, Hughes doesn't buy the old story that Cuban sandwich came together on U.S. soil. We might upset some people, he said. The research, he said, shows Cubans actually really into sandwiches going back to the late 1870s. One of the earliest references to the Cuban sandwich Hughes found was published in 1898 and describes sandwiches in Cuba. The earliest written descriptor of the recognizable layering of today's Cuban sandwiches is from 1900, Hughes said, but it came from a major U.S. city outside of Florida that up until now is left completely out of the story. He declined to get more specific until the book is released. My money's on it being New Orleans or something to that effect. Somewhere along the South Coast. Which, yes, America has 3 coasts. The East Coast, the West Coast, and the South Coast. It's really pedantic. North Coast, you want to count either Northern Alaska or the Great Lakes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Where was I? Another discovery that goes against the Cuban sandwich knowledge, they were originally a luxury item. Sandwiches were the favorite of the rich in Havana. You took carriage rides and stuff and flaunt your little sandwiches everywhere. You showed off a 1919 advertisement of telling affluent Tampa residents with automobiles that the sandwich is a great accessory for their evening drives. By the end of World War II, however, Cuban sandwiches were using cheaper ingredients were available at every dime store in Tampa. There was a human element to these stories, mostly lost today in the lonchero, a counterman whose knife skills and meat selection were vital back before there were electric deli slicers or even sliced bread. Fun fact, the sliced bread was actually invented in the 1930s, and Betty White predates it. Betty White is older than sliced bread. You're welcome. I don't know how to feel about that fact. There were no strict recipe. Hughes shows ads for classic Cuban sandwiches in Tampa and Havana that used either chicken or turkey. For those of you that get worked up for the Miami-Tampa salami or no salami debate, please take a breath. It's the most aggressively Tampa article I've ever fucking read. Hughes also does not believe the tidy story that Ybor City's particular combination of Cuban, Spanish, Italian, Jewish, and German immigrants directly led to the particular combination of roast pork, sweet ham, salami, pickles, and mustard. The idea that in the 1910s, 20s, these different groups were all really chummy and they like throwing around ingredients onto each other's sandwich. And no, I don't think so. The Spanish had nothing to do with the Cuban sandwich, except for the cultural influence they exerted on Cuba, and the Italians had no role to play in this. If you listen closely, you can hear the spaghetti making sad noise in the corner. Rather than create fusion, Hughes said immigrants at the time were likely to recreate foods from home as exactly as possible, bolstering the argument that the Cuban sandwiches are, in fact, Cuban. Hughes believes that the ingredients rarely got pared down to the austere sandwich we know today during the later wave of Cuban immigration, especially into Miami in the 50s and 60s, when keeping the price low to serve refugees became crucial. While Hughes' documentary research creates a spine of the book, passed down stories from local community sandwich traditions augment the facts with first-person stories. Hughes' co-authors and interviewed people in Tampa and Miami, he said, so these books could also profile people who we thought exemplified the sandwich in some way. Well, that was an interesting read about a sandwich I don't particularly care for. This is just guerrilla marketing to make me want to order a Cuban sandwich for dinner, and it's working. The result will shock you, but in all seriousness, it's nice to see a Florida man post where at least Florida man in question is being fairly benign sort of nut. You know, instead of eating faces or throwing gators through drive-thrus. Why are those always the first two they go to? It's a normal nut for academia. My brother's professor spent decades researching the ratio bubbles merge into each other. Okay. And his way of finding it, I guess, is that they came from Cuba. And his findings, I'm guessing, is that they came from Cuba. Wait, the Hawaiian pizza is from Canada? Damn, we really should destroy that fucking country. Yeah. Your tax dollars at work. Yeah. Thief runs off with Rolex in Florida Mall. Yep, Hillsborough County. Brandon, Florida. Brandon, Florida is a suburb right outside of Tampa. A Rolex thief is caught on camera in Central Florida. A thief... I feel like this is missing half a sentence. Like, a Rolex thief is caught on camera in Central Florida, comma, and then it tells you what he did. The thief went into Dream Diamonds at the Brandon Town Center Mall to try on pricey watch on Wednesday afternoon. The clerk put it around the man's wrist, and half a second later, he bolted from the store. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office hopes people take the time to watch the video of the theft and call the sheriff's office to pass along any helpful information. Damn, he didn't even hesitate.
All right, another big news item today. Big name in our community.
Yeah, no, this is something else. Is that really it? Damn. That article was short. Oh, plot twist. It's actually a malt kiosk Ronex watch. That'd be funny. Tyrone Bigham strikes again. That one was kind of a wash. I was hoping that one would be more entertaining. Hold on just a second. I just need to check something. Miami private school requiring students to get COVID vaccine to stay home. What? Okay, so if you get vaccinated, you have to stay home for 30 days after each dose. But you can get the vaccine after 2 weeks. So is that 30 days, then you have to get the second dose, and then you wait another 30 days? I'm confused. A Miami school that made headlines for saying it would penalize teachers who got COVID. Oh. Never mind. Penalize teachers who got the COVID-19 vaccine are now requiring students who get vaccinated to remain home for 30 days after each dose. Parents of the students at Centner Academy recently received a letter from its chief operating officers that read, in part, if you're considering the vaccine for your Centner Academy students, we ask that you hold off until the summer when there will be time for it. What? Wait, when was this written? This is from this week. Well, week in a day. But still, what the fuck is this guy on about? What the fuck? Oh, wow, the Rolling Stones are in town, and I couldn't care less. Letter also spells out a quarantine rule for parents who still choose to vaccinate their children. Because of the potential impact of other students in our school community, vaccinated students will need to stay home for 30 days post-vaccination for each dose and booster that they receive, and may return after 30 days as long as the student is healthy and symptom-free. Centner Academy first made headlines in April when the school's owners told the staff to hold off on getting vaccinated. We will not be telling teachers that they can't get vaccinated. We're simply asking that they hold off a little. Joshua Hills, a parent in Centner Academy. School owners said that the reasoning was over concerns of side effects and fear that those who get shot will infect those who don't get it. Man, we really peaked early with the pedophile incest, didn't we? The rest of these stories just kind of suck. What happens 30 days after they get the vaccine? What kind of nonsense is that, says Dr. Eileen Marty, first names, an infectious disease expert from Florida International University. Where did they get that? There's nothing in the recommendation for that. They made that up. That's science fiction, not even science fiction, because it's pure fiction. According to the CDC, none of the 3 vaccines authorized by the Food and Drug Administration use live viruses, meaning that they cannot make recipients sick with COVID-19. We're not anti-vaxxers. We're in favor of safe vaccines, Hill said back in April. Are these vaccines... Is this injection 100% safe? As a parent of 2 children that go to this school, I'm not willing to take the chance on the question mark. Back in April, Setner Academies, he said the employees who get the vaccine after April 22nd would not be allowed to return to work at the academy. However, 7 News was later told the teachers and employees who did get the vaccine would not be fired, but rather they wouldn't be allowed to work with students. Now, that's one way to get out of being a teacher, I guess. Now the letter is being sent out to students, to parents who say they're concerned over what they call experimental vaccines hasn't changed. They also mentioned they're concerned over health issues. They did say that they respect everyone's choices, but they need to watch out for their entire school community. However, health experts have said vaccines are the way to go, and to listen to the science. That is a good question. I guess they're doing clerical work? I don't fucking know, man. My money's on them just being the fucking, like, secretary or in the office or something. Zoom from home? 7 News has reached out to one of the co-owners of the school. He has said that he cannot meet in person to discuss the letter, but released a statement. Yeah, listen to God. Yeah, replace science with God, and he said he cannot meet in person to discuss the letter, but released a statement reading, Setner Academies. These top priorities are students' well-being and the sense of safety within our educational environment. We will continue to act in accordance with these priorities, and the email was sent to families today was grounded in these priorities. I don't find the letter interesting. I find it said Dr. Marty. I find it terrible that there's all this misleading information coming out of an institution that allegedly an educational institution. Well, that's what you get for sending your child to a private school instead of a public school run by the government. We all know the government is 100% completely trustworthy in all regards. Health experts argue vaccines are the way to go. The technology is not new. The technology is well established and it's based on the best science we have. And I'm not even going to bother reading the Reddit comments because it's literally just them all bitching about the vaccine and unvaccinated people, and I don't want to devolve into that particular Reddit circle jerk. Well, we're getting demonetized, boys. Let's go! Woo! Nazi gear for sale at Florida motorcycle rally. Florida vendor says it's not racist. Biketober stand sells hats embroidered with swastikas and skull and bones logos used by the SS. So it's not even like fucking pirate shit, skull and bones. It's just that old video of like, are we the baddies? And the answer is yes. Fucking Christ. Daytona Beach, Florida. A vendor at a major motorcycle rally in Florida briefly sold hats emblazoned with Nazi symbols, saying she considered them a tribute to World War II veterans who helped defeat the Germans. So, like, was this memorabilia your granddaddy brought back from the Nazis he scalped? I'm confused. The Daytona Beach News Journal reports that the vendor was selling the hats embroidered with swastikas and the skull and bones logo used by the Nazi SS at a stand during Biketober, an ongoing festival that draws thousands of bikers to the Daytona Beach area this month. The vendor said she sold the hats at other biker rallies around the country without complaint. The woman also sells rings, wallet chains, and hats without Nazi logos. Doesn't mean what people think, says the vendor, who would only give her name as Jen. Of course, it's a white woman. Moving on. A lot of people don't know the history, so they label me as a racist, which is not true at all. Marvin Miller, president of the Jewish Federation of Volusia and Flagler counties, expressed weary resignation at the items' sale. Just a shame in this day and age, Miller told the News Journal. It never stops. We just have to deal with that and just remember that we all still in America. Unfortunately, people abuse some of the wonderful rights we have and take it to extremes to spread propaganda. Jonathan Davis. Okay, I know it's not the singer for the band Korn, but I'm just imagining it's the singer for the band Korn, whose photos of the merchandise posted Thursday on the Facebook first noted its sale, and he said that while Americans could disagree on the politics, there were an agreement that Nazi imagery had no place in society. It's absolutely disgusting to see a vendor selling Nazi and SS gear, but it's even worse when the only reason they would do so is because people are actually buying it. Fair. Fuck Nazis. The owner of the property where Jenny is selling the goods ordered her to remove the Nazi merchandise, and she complied. Also, I just realized this is the Times of Israel, a totally unbiased source. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and I'm just gonna move on from that because I'm already digging my hole too deep. But hey, at least she's an ignorant moron and not a deliberately malicious moron who just decided, oh, okay, let's not do that, and then she got rid of it when asked. If you're gonna sell shit like that, sell American World War II memorabilia, not Nazi shit. Why would you be selling Nazi shit? Ugh. Yeah, someone bitching about Biketoberfest, which, I mean, I've attended Biketoberfest. Yeah, he's 100% right. You can't go 2 months without slow Harley going by revving their engine. He didn't want to say it was a tribute to our World War II veterans. It was a tribute to somebody's World War II veterans. Saying she considered it a tribute to World War II veterans who helped defeat the Germans. I don't think she knows which side the Nazis were on. I mean, this guy does have a point about how the Iron Cross and German helmets have been a part of the Hells Angels look since the beginning. And not only that, the Iron Cross specifically, while famously used by the Nazis, not only predates them as a military award of honor, it is still used to this day by the German military. I'm not sure if the helmets are the same, but the Iron Cross specifically is still a thing. I believe it's the German equivalent of like the Purple Heart, though I could be wrong on that. I don't remember specifically. Hell's Angels were literally started by men coming back from World War II, missing the camaraderie and feeling like they didn't fit in normal society anymore, so they formed groups of like-minded individuals, and among them, they glorified the trophies of the war many of them came back with. No one ever accused the Nazis of being smart. I mean, this guy raises a good point, and this guy just completely had it go over his head. A Futurama reference. Actually, I missed Futurama. Futurama was a good show. I'd like to make a toast to the troops. All the troops. Both sides. I don't know who Ryan Howard is, but I feel like that's a joke I should be getting. How the good old Confederate traitor logic. Blah, blah, blah. Wank, wank, wank. Cry about it. Next to all the MAGA merch. Fuck off. See what I mean? Reddit will always find a way to complain about Trump and his fucking supporters, even though he's been politically irrelevant for a while now. He's not coming back. He's not running in 2024. Okay. Why is this formatted like this? This is a fucking desktop site. Why is this formatted like it's a mobile article? You're pretty. Florida man accused of jumping naked on neighbor's trampoline before breaking into home. Well, at least he has clothes on in the mugshot. Lehigh Acres, Florida. A Florida man is accused of jumping on a neighbor's trampoline while naked and later breaking into her home while still unclothed. God, I hope he didn't break a window and go through that way. Andre Lee Gonzalez Broadway. Or no, Adrian Lee Gonzalez Broadway. 21. Wow, this dude is 21. He looks awful. was arrested Wednesday and charged with burglary and criminal mischief with property damage of more than $200, according to the Lee County Sheriff's Office online booking records. No bail has been set. According to the Sheriff's Office, Gonzalez Bradway showed up naked at his neighbor's home in Lehigh Acres on Tuesday afternoon and began tapping at her door. The residents asked Gonzalez, I'm just going to call him Gonzalez, or GB, because that's a mouthful. Your last name doesn't need to be 5 syllables. Yes, I did just have to count that out. Shut up. Asked if he needed assistance, but he did not respond. The television station reported 30 minutes later, the woman saw him jumping on her family's trampoline while still naked. When she saw GB touching himself, fucking masturbating, called 911, and according to the sheriff's office, he ran up to the woman's door demanding entry. When the woman refused, he allegedly smashed her kitchen window. Oh, so he did climb in naked through the broken window. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a braver man than I could ever be. The woman gathered her 2 children, a niece and a nephew, and locked herself inside a vehicle while calling authorities. Finally! A good parent! Finally! We're finally finding a good parent on this goddamn stream an hour in! Lee County deputies arrived and took GB into custody of the television station. I think you mean Bruce Lee County. God, I hope that fucking petition actually makes headway, because I would totally be down for Bruce Lee County, Florida. Because why the fuck not, man? Oh, whoops, hold on. Forgot to watch the video. Oh. Yeah, it's just a bunch of stock pictures. Fuck cares. As one does. Florida man bounce back sooner than you'd think. Well, the plot twist is the neighbor's kids were also in on it. That one leaves a lot to be desired. Oh well. I just want to know what made him think that it would be a good idea to do that. Like, what must have been going through his mind to get naked, jump on a trampoline, whip his dick out, and then start whipping his dick at his neighbor? That boy ain't right. What was your... Exactly, what was his goal? Oh, this is... Oh, I see what this is. You know, I'm surprised more than anything that it took this long for a Florida-based fucking brewery to come up with Florida Man Pale Ale. Now, if only I drank. Yeah, this looks like the face of a man who turned to beer because that was all he could accomplish in life. Insert soy boy meme here. This is literally just an ad. Fuck off. Florida man who was peeing all over room attacks Good Samaritan who tried to stop him, police. Victim gave drunk suspect a safe place to be. Well, let's see what Captain Fivehead here did. Melbourne, Florida. A drunk Florida man thanked a Good Samaritan who gave him a place to stay when he couldn't get home by peeing all over his bedroom and then attacking him, according to a Melbourne police department. The victim said he was at a party in downtown Melbourne on Saturday when he met Colin Geeb, who was described as a friend of a friend. Geeb, 23, was drunk, didn't have a way to get home, and couldn't provide his address, so the victim took him back to his place so he could have a safe place to be, the records show. The victim allowed Geeb to sleep in a room while he slept in another room for the night. Sunday morning, the victim heard noises from around the house and found Geeb peeing everywhere in the room, according to the affidavit. Police said the victim repeatedly asked Geeb to leave, but Geeb wouldn't and instead became upset and turned violent. He came at me with his penis out and attacked me. Geeb, who's 6 feet and 170 pounds, punched the man multiple times, attempted to choke him, and pushed him into a wall before the victim was able to wrestle Geeb out the front door and call police, the records show. When asked about the incident, Gibbs said, "You heard the whole story, there's nothing I need to tell you," and asked, "Why am I here?" According to the authorities. Police say they found blood on the front door, holes in the wall, and a room saturated with urine. Gibbs of Melbourne was arrested on battery, indecent exposure, and property damage. Bro, this isn't a drunken disorderly. This is just a Postal 2 LARP. Like, that's all this is. This was just the guy acting out his Postal 2 fantasy. I'm not even mad. Like, that's what I would do in that situation if you don't sign my damn petition. Also, if you haven't played Postal 2, you really should get on it. It's the closest we've come to a Florida Man video game. Look at this. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Alright. Not the... Okay, yeah. I'm guessing this Positivity Central guy is like the guy who posts most of the Florida Man stories. When wild creatures engage in their natural behavior, such as Florida Man marking his territory and defending it from encroachment, what could be more positive than that? Why would you invite Florida Man to your home? Another Florida Man invited him in. They would seem to cancel out any shenanigans to follow, but Florida Man DNA went out. We're blessed with this story. Two Florida Man does not cancel one Florida Man. Instead, they increase exponentially. With the numeric base digit being on a Florida Man and the exponent being... I don't get math. Math is evil. Make it stop. Oh, God. The only reason I passed Calc 2 was blind luck. They did the math. No good deed goes unpunished. That face does look trustworthy. Why am I here? I don't know, man. Maybe you got involved in something bad. Back in high school, a buddy stayed over one night and we got hammered. I woke up to the sound of him pissing on my jumbo Western acoustic guitar. I'll never forget that sound. When did you get the gold toilet? He asked. Johnny, I found the guy who shit in your tuba. The fuck you doing in my house, foo? In your house. I can think of a good handful of people who are like this. Oh, America, why are you so annoying to each other? Fuck off, Canadian and or European. Once I caught my friend peeing in her filing cabinet drawer. Drunk Florida woman is a sight to behold. Oh, I remember this one. This one's from back in June. This guy was basically just going Grand Theft Auto on a motherfucker. Man attempted to steal a helicopter at Kissimmee Airport after hit and run, investigators say. 31-year-old Brandon Marty was arrested by Osceola deputies. Kissimmee, Florida. A man driving a stolen car crashed through a fence at the Kissimmee Gateway Airport, drove onto the active runway and entered a helicopter and started pushing buttons in an attempt to fly it away, according to the Kissimmee Police Department. Records show the investigation began with a hit-and-run crash near the intersection of Oak Street and Forestry Avenue shortly before 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Police said a man involved in the crash, 31-year-old Brandon Marty, then broke into an occupied home on Forest Avenue, took a pair of car keys, and drove off in a silver Nissan Altima parked in the driveway. Marty, a former football player with the University of Miami record, then drove the stolen car to Kissimmee Gateway Airport, where he rammed it into a gate, leaving the car inoperable, and according to the affidavit. He then ran to a Ford F-150 and got into an altercation with the truck's owner as the man tried to prevent Marty from stealing the truck, but was unsuccessful and instead ended up being dragged by the truck. Marty then drove the truck to a helicopter, got inside, turned the keys in the ignition, and pressed buttons in an attempt to start the aircraft, according to the airport. Why on earth would you leave keys in a helicopter? Even if you're in a locked airport, take the keys with you, man. Helicopters are fucking expensive. And you never know when Florida Man is going to strike. Security guards confronted him and after a verbal altercation. And Marty drove off in the stolen Ford. Osceola County deputies said they managed to blow out the truck's tires in a short pursuit. Truck stopped at the entrance of Parton Village Shopping Plaza. Marty then attempted to carjack another driver, according to the release. Deputies zapped Marty with a taser and then handcuffed. Bro, this is literally just Grand Theft Auto. That's all this is. This is just GTA 5. That's what he gets for not turning on the infinite ammo cheat. Kissimmee police said Marty is facing charges of carjacking, burglary, grand theft, and criminal mischief in their jurisdiction. Deputy said Marty's also been charged with aggravated assault on a law officer, attempted carjacking, fleeing, and eluding and resisting arrest. Look at this dude. That's the face of a man who would do it again in a goddamn heartbeat. Also, I'm just scrolling down here for this about the author. GTA Miami. GTA Miami already exists? That's what Vice City was! GTA Vice City is literally just GTA in the 80s Miami. Thomas Mates is a digital storyteller. Fuck off, you pretentious hack. He worked in Portland, Oregon before moving to Central Florida. Hey, can you fuck off back to Portland? We don't want you here. Also.
A wild crime spree, including an attempt to steal a helicopter.
Sorry, hold on. I need to see that again. Pay attention to the police video.
A wild
Watch him go down.
spree, including
Good.
an attempt to steal
Oh, that's
a
face and
helicopter,
shirt
ends
first
with the
and
suspect
shirtless on the
being
fucking
slammed to the
asphalt.
ground.
That's gotta
Tonight,
hurt.
A former University of Miami linebacker is facing a long list of charges. News 6's Nikki Zizaza speaks with a shocked
Nikki
witness.
Zizaza, that's a fun name.
This is the airport where deputies say the suspect rammed a stolen vehicle into a fence before attempting to
GTA will be
steal
based
a
in New York.
helicopter to fly
That's
away.
fucking lame.
And
They've
witnesses
done that
we spoke to
before.
say they are
Multiple
still
times.
shaken up.
Go with the
A
new
frightening
city.
crime spree across Osceola County happened early Tuesday morning.
Like, let's see. We
in
can't
this
do
Kissimmee
Vegas, can't do
neighborhood.
San Francisco,
The
can't do
destructive
LA,
rampage
can't do
began with
New
a
York,
crash,
can't
followed
do
by a
Miami.
burglary at Monoir Chaudhry's home.
He broke the back door, and he came inside. Grabbed the key.
Motor!
The only thing more shocking than the break-in into Chaudhry's home was when Osceola County Sheriff's Office identified the 31-year-old suspect, Brandon Marty, a former University of Miami
Also,
football
Marty,
player,
Brandon Marty, two
as
first
the man
names.
who stormed through this house before the brazen carjacking.
I wake up and I run. I came.
I
here
want
and I
GTA
saw
Boston,
the
just because
door
that
is
would be funny.
open.
Chaudhry says he can't believe this is how his car was returned after the former linebacker peeled out of the parking lot in the family vehicle.
Very high speed.
But this was just one part of the bizarre crime spree. Deputies say Marty went on to crash the stolen vehicle at Kissimmee Gateway Airport before a violent confrontation while
He
attempting
probably
to
saw the
carjack
sign
an
and thought it
airport
said getaway,
employee.
let's be honest.
Air traffic control capturing the disorienting chaos while deputies say Marty tried stealing a helicopter. High above ground, you can see how deputies ultimately made an arrest.
What about GTA?
Deputies
GTA
forced him with a
Anchorage
stun
would be
gun
cool.
to subdue Marty before he attempted another carjacking. Chaudhry says he is just relieved it's over and is now working to repair his car.
The whole community is scared.
Yeah, he's never getting
Now,
that
Kissimmee
car
police say
reimbursed.
Marty is facing multiple charges, including resisting arrest, grand theft auto, and trespassing.
Why is she blinking so
Reporting in
much?
Kissimmee, Nikki Zizaza getting results.
Like,
in
you
six.
notice that she's blinking like every 2 seconds. What the fuck? Weird. I'd want a GTA set in Europe, like, I don't know, London or some goofy bullshit like that. That'd be fun. GTA South America. Wow, the GTA 6 graphics are wild. Dude living his life like he has a challenge list he has to complete before the end of the day. Hey, Florida man challenges. Breaking and entering, smash a gate, steal a truck, hit a helicopter with a vehicle, get 4 stars, escape 4-star pursuit. Technically, that would be a 5-star pursuit because if I remember correctly, the second you break into an airport in GTA, you're automatic 5 stars. What was his goal? Good question. I'm not more curious about what drug he used for research purposes, of course. Called trading up. How else do you get it? Bringing lost Arizona Trump votes to the authorities, but the media got him. Okay. That's a good Trump joke. You get that one. And then the follow-up immediately. His goal was twofold. Do meth and get away from the people who will take away his meth. some point, I think once you accomplish such a spree, you should just get a pass. If you can get away with get that far, that the real issue is not individual, but the lack of police effectiveness and security checks that lead to such a situation being possible. I might draw a comparison to having a poorly coded website where some crucial function is circumvented by elementary simplicity that leads to compromised systems. Like Triathlon a Crime. He's the main character, and we're all just background filler in his movie. Did he know how to fly a helicopter, or was he just trying to wing it? Fuck you, that should have been an airplane joke. Holy shit, the way he bounced his head off the road when they tased him and run. I'm surprised more people don't get seriously injured like that. That was nuts. Yeah, see, this guy gets it. A Nissan, that is weirdly specific. Is this a sponsored news headline? The car everyone wants to have, even if you have to steal it. And next is a story about a man starting a fight in a bar, hitting someone with a Bud Light, and as they say, party of right with Bud Light. Technically, the GTA London on the PS1, though, Krugs, that was just a that was an expansion pack. That wasn't a full game, if I remember correctly. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, Rick James. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. One day, Florida man will have done it all, and there will be nothing else to achieve in this crazy world. Sounds like GTA AR based off to a bad start at Rockstar. Like the criminal version of the guy who traded a pack of gum for a beer, then a beer for a TV, then a TV for a motorcycle, then a motorcycle for a Porsche. And then he got tackled by the police and dragged off to jail. He probably thought he could load his last save. It's a man who can get shit done. Kissimmee, gateway to St. Cloud. This is meth country. All right. Florida man who fled officers while driving a tractor trailer in the wrong direction on I-95. Oh boy. This is gonna end so well. Second. There we go. Edgewood, Maryland. Oh god, this is a Florida man in the wild outside of his element. When I saw I-95, I thought, oh, okay, so yeah, this is probably somewhere in Central Florida. Edgewood, Maryland. A Florida man was taken into custody by Maryland State Police on Monday after police say he fled officers while driving a tractor trailer the wrong direction on I-95. Shortly before noon 30, troopers responded to the Maryland House Travel Plaza for reported theft and found a person who told police that his jacket and keys were stolen while he was inside the plaza. The victim notified police the suspect was driving a specific tractor trailer. While the victim was informing police of the theft, police were advised of a tractor trailer exiting the travel plaza on the wrong side. The tractor trailer was traveling south in northbound lanes of I-95, driving against traffic. Well, after approximately 3 miles, police say that 37-year-old Maurice Cooper, oh look, 2 first names, stopped at the tractor trailer on the fast shoulder in an active work zone while several highway workers were conducting road work. A trooper then exited his vehicle in an effort to make contact with the driver and climbed on the passenger side step of the tractor trailer. Oh no. Through an open passenger side window, the trooper told the driver to shift the truck into park and hand over the keys. In response, the driver accelerated northbound lanes of I-95, again traveling south against north. Yeah, that driver shit his fucking pants. The trooper continued to yell at the driver to stop, but he refused. As the driver continued to accelerate, the trooper was subsequently thrown from the truck onto the highway. The trooper suffered minor injuries and refused medical treatment at the scene. Preliminary information indicates the driver continued to drive against traffic for approximately 4 more miles and crossed all lanes of northbound I-95 to slow shoulder into a construction zone where he made a U-turn to continue north on I-95. Did he think he'd lose them? I'm confused. An off-duty officer were aware of the ongoing incident, followed the vehicle as it exited off I-95 while a helicopter from Baltimore County Police Department located the tractor trailers that pulled into a motel parking lot in Edgewood. According to eyewitnesses, the driver then fled on foot into a wooded area behind the motel. The suspect, later identified as Cooper, was located along the wood line and taken into custody without incident. Cooper faces the following charges: attempted second-degree murder, first and second-degree assault, assault of a law enforcement officer, theft, and other related traffic charges. Hey man, go big or go home. Shame that we don't have this guy's thumb or mugshot though. That what the fuck moment when you see when something you regularly do in GTA is possible in Florida. I admire the Florida man's subtle escape plan. What was the end goal here, Florida man? You can take the man out of Florida, but you can't take the Florida out of the man. Oh, this some bitch got out of Florida all the way up to Maryland. You don't see that often, kids. I really do think we're missing out by not having that guy. By not having that guy's mugshot, though. Missed opportunity, if ever there was one. 2 Florida teachers face charges from entering wrong home, shooting. What? The teachers believed they had entered the apartment of one of their friends. Vero Beach, 2 newly hired PE teachers at a Florida elementary school were arrested after the shooting of a man whose apartment they entered thinking it belonged to someone else following a night of drinking. One of the teachers mistakenly climbed into the bed with the man, his wife, and their baby, while the other teacher went to the bathroom before the male occupant of the house escorted them out. The teachers believed they had entered the apartment of one of their friends. While outside, one of the teachers, Darius Cohen, got into a scuffle with the male occupant, which was broken up by the other teacher, Aqua Hallback. Hallback. While the male resident was returning to his apartment, Cohen chased after him and fired 4 shots, striking him in the back, according to an arrest affidavit. The man's injuries were not life-threatening. Boy, that escalated quickly. The encounter last week was caught on security video at the apartment building in Vero Beach. The teacher drove off, but someone recognized him from the Indian River County Sheriff's Office Facebook page called Crime Stoppers. Both teachers have been fired from their jobs at Sebastian Elementary and Indian River Academy. I immediately exercised my authority to terminate them last week, David Moore, the school district superintendent, told the television station WPBF. After his arrest Thursday, Cohen admitted to the detectives they had fired the shots, the arrest affidavit said. Cohen, 26, is facing a charge of attempted felony murder. Court records show that he was still in jail on Thursday and that a court docket showed no attorney listed for him. His fellow teacher, Hallback, 27, was charged with possession of a controlled substance. County records show no attorney listed for him either. Dumb motherfuckers. Both of them. Shame there are no comments, though. I'm sure there was at least one bit of gold that could have been gleaned from this. Let's refresh and try again. I guess not. Florida man uses finger guns to steal Waffle House napkins, deputies. Madison County Waffle House employee called 911 Monday morning to report an attempted robbery. The suspect was unarmed and simply left after grabbing some napkins. Why is he wearing a SpongeBob shirt? Why is he wearing a SpongeBob shirt? Man, I don't know how the fuck to respond to this. Madison County Waffle House employee called 911 Monday to report an attempted robbery. The suspect was unarmed, simply left after grabbing some napkins. Madison County Sheriff's Office identified Eward William Rodriguez as the assailant based on the video footage and witness description. Rodriguez entered the Waffle House on 145 Southeast Bandit Street at about 8 p.m., said MSCO. Witnesses described him as a white man wearing a gray hoodie, dark jeans, a dark hat, and dark hair. He was reportedly accompanied by a small dog. Rodriguez then began shouting, "Get on the ground! Y'all are getting robbed!" According to the MSCO's report. He then stated he was high and drunk before grabbing some napkins and walking out. Rodriguez got into a vehicle and left the parking lot. The 911 call told deputies. The suspect did not appear to have a weapon, but he did raise his hands with the finger in the shape of gun. Raise his fingers in the shape of a gun. Deputies located Rodriguez at his residence and placed him under arrest without incident after he admitted to the crime. He was taken to the Madison County Jail on charges of unarmed robbery and assault. 911 caller told deputies no one had been hurt in the incident. See, at least nobody was hurt. There's a silver lining to all of this. But at the same time, this motherfucker walked in with goddamn finger guns. I don't know how to feel about this. God damn, you gotta be some kind of bad at crime to get arrested for stealing something that's free. I know he said he was high and drunk and told people to get on the ground because he was robbing the place, but still, damn. Cash is printed on paper, napkins on paper. Get a printer, and this guy's onto something. He was arrested for going in and shouting, "Get on the ground, y'all are getting robbed," not for the napkins. Okay. It's a miracle no one was harmed. Easy for them to say. Someone clearly stole part of this dude's beard. Reddit bullshit. Is he armed? No, he's handed. He can't steal free napkins, especially on Free Napkin Day. SpongeBob got formally incarcerated for that little incident. Even if it was only for 5 seconds. That's permanently on his record now. I don't know about Florida, but under British law, you might be able to attempt to steal them if you didn't know they were free. I think a court would go, lol, no, at the public prosecutor trying that, though. Available with your order doesn't mean free napkins, I would. But nobody got finger blasted. And that's an option? Well, you missed pedophile, incest, Grand Theft Auto, sandwiches, and this. Wearing a SpongeBob shirt. You've missed a lot, my friend. You've missed a hell of a lot. Glad nobody got finger blasted. Pretend robbing a Waffle House located on Bandit Street. That's genius right there. Also, when you go to a Waffle House, the napkins are so plentiful and stacked so tightly in the holder that you can't get them out or there are none at all. That kind of chaos would drive any man insane. This man is secretly 13. Yeah, probably. He certainly looks 13. Though, again, someone definitely stole the chin part of his beard. Florida man arrested after pleasuring with an ice pack in the back of an ambulance. See, I would love to do an Australia man version of this, but the problem being, Australia man can't commit any crime because at the moment they're not currently allowed to leave their house. I don't know how to respond to this. Fucker jerked off with an ice pack. Like, oh yeah, Magic, that story you just sent me, that one's fake. It's been debunked. It's from like 3 years ago. Points for trying, though, buddy. Anyway, where was I? Florida man is at it again, and this time in the back of an ambulance with an ice pack after calling rescue with shortness of breath he was experiencing. According to an arrest affidavit, 30-year-old Terry Majors called 911 for shortness of breath. When the crews arrived and Majors was in the back of the ambulance, he stripped off his clothes. Deputies said Majors got fully naked and then proceeded to pull on his pipe in front of the first responders that were trying to assist the patient. According to the affidavit, Majors took precautions and had a condom on prior to the escapade. At least he thought ahead. And with his head. Deputies said that Majors asked EMTs for an ice pack, then folded the ice pack and began masturbating with the cold pack on his way to the hospital. Majors was charged with exposure of his sexual organs, which is a misdemeanor, and booked into Pinellas County Jail. I don't know if any of you have ever tried jerking off with an ice pack, but it is very, very hard to masturbate with something cold. Trust me on this. I'm speaking from experience. Having something cold wrapped around your dick just makes it shrink and helps loosen up the blood vessels so you just go flaccid. Well, what else was he supposed to use for pleasure? Cheese. He just wanted to relive fucking his ex. Fuck, that's really good. Today I learned it's illegal to fucking ice pack in the back of an ambulance in Florida. He was trying to make the swelling go down. People don't understand how hot it gets here in Florida. That man was just trying to cool down his willy. Look, Krugs, I'm just saying, as someone who's tried masturbating in an industrial freezer that is kept at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, I am speaking from experience. Moving on. I'm sorry. I just can't get over her fucking mugshot and just how smug she looks. Woman arrested after brawl with her two sisters at World of Beer. A woman was arrested after a brawl with her two sisters at a World of Beer location in the Villages. Melody Jane Smalley, 24, of Lady Lake, was arrested at World of Beer in Brownwood Paddock Square shortly before midnight Saturday, when her 27-year-old sister and her 23-year-old sister arrived in the parking lot to give her a ride home, having deemed the middle sister too drunk to drive. Alexa, play Too Drunk to Fuck. No, I don't remember who it's by. Just play Too Drunk to Fuck. So give me a minute. I know I genuinely don't know who wrote that song. Dead Kennedys. Okay, yeah, I knew it was a punk band. I just couldn't remember which one. Molly became irate and pulled her older sister. Bro, I think you need to change your pants after that one. Irate, pulled her older sister by her hair in an attempt to remove her from the vehicle. The younger sister tried to separate Smalley and the older sister. Smalley grabbed the younger sister by her hair and dragged her to the ground. During a brief break from the fighting, Smalley got into the car with her younger sister. Smalley suddenly bit her younger sister's thumb, piercing it with her teeth. She refused to release her sister's thumb from her teeth. The younger sister began kicking and punching Smalley in an attempt to force her to release the thumb. She was able to push Smalley out of the vehicle, lock the doors, and called her older sister, who called 911. Smalley was arrested on 2 counts of battery and booked at Sumter County Detention Center and was released after posting $1,000 in bond. Look at this smug bitch. Look at her. She doesn't regret a goddamn thing, and she'd do it again in a goddamn heartbeat. Mark my words. Kinda young for the Villages. Actually, yeah, for those of you who are unaware, the Villages is basically America's oldest retirement community. So the fact that there are people in there in their 20s tell me they either work there or they travel there. This is just the finger guns guy again. A Florida woman is suing Brian Laundrie's dad for $40. Says it's an effort to break their silence around Gabby Petito's death. Okay, so if you're going to file a frivolous lawsuit on someone, why would it be for only $40? Why not sue them for more? I get that $40 is a lot less likely to get thrown out, but at the same than say $1 million, but at the same time, it's just as likely to get thrown out because it's $40 fucking dollars. What fucking judge would agree to take that case instead of telling them not just to fuck off? Also, this was written before they found that Ryan Laundrie had killed himself and got eaten by alligators. So awkward. Claims he removed a lawn sign. A Florida woman is suing Brian Laundrie's dad after she claims he removed a lawn sign near his home. She said that she contributed funds to make the protest sign, which she placed on an easement near his home, and she asked the court to order Laundrie to reimburse her $40 in any court fee. So she's just a dumb fuck. Judge wants an easy, I guess. Florida woman who claims Ryan Laundrie's father removed a Gabby Petito lawn sign that's placed told inside that she's suing him for $40 in an attempt to irritate the family enough to break their silence on the case. Andra Griffin of Bradenton, sorry, not Brandon, filed the lawsuit Monday in a small claims division in Sarasota. At least she filed it in the proper fucking place. In a lawsuit which was viewed by the Insider, Griffin says she, quote-unquote, contributed funds to the sign as part of a peaceful protest. The sign read, "What if it was Cassie?" in reference to Christopher Laundrie's daughter. Bro, what the fuck? Who does that shit? That's just fucking cruel. A photo attached to the lawsuit shows Christopher Laundrie removing the sign and walking back to his Northport, Florida home. On or about the morning of October 16, 2021, defendant Christopher Laundrie came out of his home, walked up to the sign, stole it, and walked back onto his property. Meaning it wasn't even on his property. So I don't think he had a legal right to take it. Could be wrong. Laundrie family attorney Steve Bertolino told Insider on Tuesday that the family was being harassed with lawsuits for a $40 sign that was more than likely on the property. Sorry. The lawsuit came as the Laundrie family's home has been surrounded by protesters and gawkers interested in Brian Laundrie's connection to the Petito, who was his. Fox News recently caught two protesters on camera showing up at the home in the middle of the night, banging on the door and yelling, "Come out, dirty laundries! Come on, England!" Why did I immediately jump? Fucking kill. In a phone interview with Insider on Tuesday, Griffin said she was one of two community activists who demonstrate outside the home laundries, who she repeatedly referred to as dirty laundries throughout the week. On the weekend, she said the crowd grows to about a dozen. God, how long is this article? Okay, moving on. Blah, 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 blah. Griffin spent $65 to file the small claims suit against Laundrie, according to court documents. Yes, the court ordered Laundrie to reimburse her $40 in the court fees. So her end game is to make $105. That's not even being a grifter. That's just being a dumbass. Like, what was her plan here? Stupid fucking people. I swear to God. That's how he walks? I mean, yeah, that is a very powerful gait. And let's pull that back up. Like, look at this man. That is a powerful stance. That is a man whose crotch is bulging at all times. Fucking lad. Pennsylvania, she get nailed by a Dringetti action since she stated to the press that she wasn't filing the case for its stated purpose. Okay. Man, these people need lives. I get the parents were shady as fuck, but these people harassing them have got to have better. Yeah. Somehow it seems most people are publicly declare they're backing the blue are actually assholes. On from that one. Pantsless Belle Isle police officer arrested in Volusia County. Ivar Ruiz faces a charge of driving under the influence. And this is why I don't back the blue, because cops are just as fucking stupid as the rest of us. Belle Isle police officer handed in his resignation following his arrest in Volusia County on a charge of driving while under the influence. Does Brian Laundrie count as Florida? Yeah, he got eaten by alligators. He counts. Arrested on Monday morning in DeBray after he pulled over at 100 block of South Charles R. Bell Boulevard. Investigators said they observed a blue Chevrolet pickup driving with its turn signal on for nearly a mile as it drifted between lanes. Deputies also clocked the truck going 55 in an area with a posted speed limit of 40, according to the arrest. Deputies pulled the truck over and made contact with Ruiz, who was driving. Ruiz smelled of alcohol and his speech was slow and slurred, according to the report. Do I think Brian Laundrie killed himself? Yes. It was either that or he got eaten by alligators before he died. They found alligator wounds on his corpse, so I'm assuming that some gators got hungry and they found his body after the fact. Deputies pulled the truck over. Yada yada. Read that. Ruiz was asked whether he had been drinking and responded, "I was earlier." Records show investigators that Ruiz asked Ruiz if he would admit to a field sobriety test, and he agreed. However, prior to getting out of the truck, the man told deputies he was not wearing pants and asked if he could put some on before exiting. See, that's good at least. After putting on his pants, Ruiz was asked to follow a flashlight with only his eyes while keeping his feet together and his arms at his side. According to the report, investigators said that he was swaying throughout the exercise and he had to be reminded several times to keep his feet. Before getting the next test, Ruiz was no longer wanted to continue, record show, and he was tested. In addition to driving under the influence charge, he was also with the charge for refusal to submit to testing, open container, and speeding. He was hired as a patrol officer in Belle Isle in June 2017. According to the department, he resigned on Monday and his resignation was accepted. I'm very disappointed to learn of the arrest, Belle Isle Police Chief Laura Houston said in his statement. As law enforcement officers, we are held to the highest standard of conduct, whether on duty or off. Following the criminal investigation involving Ruiz, Belle Isle Police and the department will conduct an internal investigation, the result of which will be made public once complete. Well, I, for one, feel more sober when I put on my pants. It's gotten me out of many DUIs unless someone shits in my pants in the middle of a sobriety test. Well, if he knows he's going to fail this field sobriety test, he might as well be wearing pants. Man can't be pantsless and jobless. He's got to have some dignity. And then someone bitching about cops because Reddit. They think they're so high and mighty just because they never got caught drinking without pants. Florida man. Yeah, basically. He chose the red pill. What the fuck does that even mean? Wonder if he left any skid marks. With the car, I mean. It's a small detail, but you notice the two cops using two sets of handcuffs to cuff him rather than one? Obviously, it's going to be more comfortable this way. Can't imagine a lot of criminals getting this courtesy. Seems more like arrest videos. You see cops are actively trying to dislocate people's shoulders the way they do it if you're too fat for one set. Flyover state in Florida. All right. Oh yeah, we forgot to watch the actual arrest video. Let's fix that.
Okay, so you're not wanting to finish SFSEs? No. Okay. I do want you to understand that if you do decide that you don't... Yeah. Okay, but I have to explain it to you. No, okay. If you do decide that you don't want to complete field sobriety, okay, I have to make a determination based on what I've observed. Yep. Okay? Your driving pattern. Mm-hmm. Okay? Speaking.
Why is this recorded in mono?
Your breath. Your eyes are very red. Okay. Okay? Your speech is slurred. Which is natural for me, but... Okay? You know. All right.
I mean, I have a fairly slurred speech pattern too, so I can relate to that.
I see a lot of nystagmus. Okay. Okay, so I want you to understand that. If you decide you don't want to continue, you're giving up your opportunity to show me that you're not impaired.
Man, this camera needs some fucking V-Sync.
Okay, and with that in mind, you don't want to do it anymore? Okay. Just go ahead and turn around and put your hands behind your back for me. You are under arrest for DUI at this point. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, he's too fat for the cuffs. Thank God I'm actually thin enough that I can put my hands behind my back and be properly handcuffed by a police officer when I inevitably get arrested for doing something stupid because Florida man is a spirit that possesses random citizens at the time of day. Without warning. Now this one's just sad. It says a lot about our society. A worker in Florida applied to 60 entry-level jobs in September and got one interview. Joey Holes recalled first hearing complaints about a labor shortage last year when he was called to donate convalescent plasma at a clinic near Fort Myers, Florida. The guy went on a rant about how he couldn't find help and couldn't keep anybody in his medical facility because they all quit over the stimulus checks. I'm like, your medical professionals quit over a $1,200 check? That's weird. Over the next several months, the 37-year-old watched as a growing chorus of businesses said they couldn't find anyone to hire because of government stimulus money. It was so ubiquitous that they joined a No One Wants to Work Facebook group where users made memes writing frustrated employees. Now that's smart, assuming the restaurant is good. He said he found it hard to believe the government money was keeping people out of the labor, especially when the end of expanded federal unemployment benefits didn't trigger a surge in employment. I mean, it got me employed. All benefits ended in September, but 26 states, including Florida, ended them early in June and July. Can confirm. If this extra money that everyone supposedly stopped in June and it's now September, obviously that's not what's stopping them. He said workers have said companies struggling to hire often aren't offering competitive pay and benefits. Yeah. So Holes, a former food service worker and charter boat crewman, decided to run an experiment. September 1st, he sent a job application to a pair of restaurants that had been particularly public about staffing shortage. Then he widened the test and spent the remainder of the month applying for jobs. Mostly employers vocal about a lack of workers and tracking his journey in a spreadsheet. 2 weeks and 28 applications later, he had just 9 email responses, 1 follow-up phone call, and 1 interview with a construction company that advertised a full-time job focused on site cleanup, paying $10 an hour. Christ. Okay, to understand why that particular one fucks with me, $10 an hour is now the current minimum wage in Florida. Bro, I wouldn't work construction for 20, let alone minimum wage. Yeah. Yeah, see what I mean? They literally bring that up, actually. But Holes said the construction company instead tried to offer Florida's minimum wage of $8.65 to start, even though the wage was scheduled to increase to $10 an hour on September 30th. He added that it wanted full-time availability while scheduling only part-time until Holes gained seniority. Holes said he wasn't applying to any roles he didn't qualify for. Some wanted a high school diploma, he said. Some wanted retail experience. Most of them were, he said, willing to train or minimum experience, and none of them were over $12 an hour. He said, I didn't apply for anything that required a degree. I didn't apply for anything that must have 6 experience. Holes isn't alone. Others have also spoken about their troubles finding work despite the seemingly tight labor market. In a Facebook post on September 29th that went viral on Twitter and Reddit as well, Holes said, 58 applications say y'all aren't desperate for workers. You're just missing your slip. I mean, he's probably right. I'm glad I got a job that now pays really well and has great benefits. My opinion is this familiar story to many. By the end of September, Holes had sent out 60 applications, received 16 email responses, 4 follow-up phone calls, and 1 solitary interview. Here at a pie chart showing the result. Holes acknowledged that his results may not be representative of a larger labor challenge in the country, since his search was local and targeted the most vocal critics of stimulus spending. He added that despite the claims of some businesses struggling to hire, his boss had no staffing issues with the pandemic. Nobody leaves the position because he wants to take care of his people. Holes said, referring to his boss. That's just something about. Now, we get to see what the brain trust at Reddit has to think about this. Brace yourselves, this is going to get terrible. Sounds exactly like my job search last year, except my stats were 170 applications, 0 interviews. Useless article in 2 forums now. Okay. Well, at least no one's complaining? Question mark? 2 Florida Peach. This is just, we already had this article. Headline should read 2 cheat positions open. Probably. Florida man wins lottery and plans to buy toothbrush? 2 first names, of course. Leesburg, Florida. Brian Nelson is celebrating his recent engagement with $1 million prize on a scratch-off ticket. But his fiancée seems to question his big plans for the money. You wouldn't believe what he's most excited about buying with his winnings, Emily Pelton told Florida Lottery. Nelson, with a laugh, said, I'm just looking forward to upgrading to an electric toothbrush and splurging on a good pair of flip-flops. Oh no, I still have it open. The last article posted here was 8 hours ago. Let's see if anything new has popped up. Yep. Cool. Nelson, 26, of Leesburg in Central Florida, won a $20 Gold Rush Limited ticket that debuted just last month. State lottery officials said he took the lump sum of $795,000. Win came just a month after he and Pelton got engaged. He bought the Lucky Scratcher at a quick market in Leesburg. The $2,000 bonus commission for selling it. Good for him. He's not going to blow it all. He's a simple Florida man with simple desires. He's not the Florida man we want, but he sure is the one we need. Florida man finally receives the praise he deserves. Hell yeah. Golly, I haven't seen my favorite cousin Brian in years. But I have priorities. Winnings, not earnings. Tomorrow with his finances, he would invest in stock markets or a house. Clearly, Olympic anal eater here has not been paying attention to the housing market. Now is not the time to invest in a house. Holy fuck. Florida man doesn't need much to be happy. Well, you can't fault him for being practical. $1 million and a toothbrush? What a catch. Florida man wasn't conceived to be super. Quite the opposite. Sometimes luck of a lifetime strikes Florida man, but Florida man is not equipped with regular brain function. I mean, he's being smart with his money. Fuck this guy for being an ass. Oh, come the fuck on! This is the same teacher story for the third goddamn time! Fucking hell, man! Why? Why do you do this to me, Jesus? Fuck. I'm going to hell for this, but as a native Florida man, I believe this is Chicago, man. And how the fuck does that happen? Were their locks so shitty that it happened to be opened by a completely random key wielded by two drunk men? No, they left the doors unlocked. Yeah. Always lock your doors, kids. You never know when a drunk Florida man is going to wander in. Oh, God. Florida man who set up GoFundMe for Trump's border wall indicted on tax charges. Florida man who set up a GoFundMe for former President Trump's border wall has now been indicted on tax charges, the IRS said Thursday. Brian G. Colfage of Miramar Beach could face up to 20 years in prison. He was charged with 2 counts of filing a false tax return and 1 count of wire fraud related to an electronic filing of his tax return. 2019 tax return in Florida. He also faces a separate federal indictment out of New York for fraud and money laundering related offenses. With his tax return, Colfage engaged in a scheme to defraud the government. Only the government would be this mad about you stealing money from them, let's be honest. Charges allege that he received hundreds of thousands of dollars from multiple organizations in 2019, including We Build the Wall, Inc., were deposited into his personal bank account. Colfage is accused of not reporting this income to the IRS. Jason Arcudi, acting U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Florida, announced the tax charges Thursday. Colfage will be arraigned on July 21st in Pensacola. Last summer, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Services announced that it had launched a criminal investigation against Build the Wall, a nonprofit that had raised $25 million. Colfage is also accused of leveraging fake news websites during his effort to crowdsource donations for a border wall between U.S. and Mexico. He launched a GoFundMe with the goal of raising $5 billion. Colfage is a triple amputee who was hurt in the Iraq War of 2004. Fake news website. Facebook page, network, fake news sites. Okay, whatever. Gives a fuck. What does anyone happen? His latest post says I'm flying your family around. Oh, it's currently making its way through the court. And as always, they are bitching about Trump because Reddit cannot go 5 minutes without complaining about a man who... Oh God, what did I do? Weird news. Man meets woman. Man falls asleep. Woman steals car. Streets of Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast are full of wild, outrageous tales you wouldn't find on the front page. Here are the more notable reports from folks behaving badly. Montana. Oh God, is this multiple stories lumped into as one? Fuck. God damn. They don't even have funny mugshots to go with them. That's the worst part. Sorry about that. All right, where were we? Lantana. Clean and mean. Staying at an inn located in the 700 block of North Dixie Highway, a man said he met a woman who asked if he could use his shower. Apparently, not being in the habit of denying a nice walk, a good late night cleaning, the man invited her inside. Though it's unclear whether the shower was actually used, the man said he fell asleep and with the woman still inside his room. Surveillance video showed the woman later leaving the room around 4:30 a.m. Regardless of whether or not she was physically clean or not, her next move was owed the stain of her soul as she stole his car. To add insult to injury, the car did not even belong to the man, but to his cousin, whom he had borrowed it from a day earlier. Luckily for all parties, the stolen vehicle was found several hours later, broken down on I-95. The woman was not in the vehicle and was likely out looking for a shower. Bored burglar. Discovering her paddleboard had been stolen from outside her residence, first block of Easy Street. Really? A woman went on the popular website that specialized in selling of used goods in search of another one. Then for a shocker when she noticed that her board was for sale on the site. Alerting the police and able to track the seller's name to an address down the street from her, she located a suspect. The man at the residence, however, claimed that the seller was his father and he no longer lived at the address and was believed to be homeless. The man did say, however, the paddleboard belonged to his father and that he had had it for 3 years. True ownership of the board could not be ascertained as the woman was unable to provide absolute proof it belonged to her. It's possible that in the near future, a homeless man lugging around a paddleboard will be spotted and have the receipts showing he actually purchased the flotation/transportation device. I don't think so. Menacing motorist. Walking along South Florida Highway in the 7500 block, two women became concerned when a motorist drove toward them while straddling the bicycle lane. Their concern rapidly intensified, prompting a quickly engaged flight response with the driver yelling, "What the fuck are you doing? What the hell is going on?" Hastily retreating down Neptune Drive, the women hit some bushes while a strange potty-mouthed motorist cruised by looking for them. They then later gave the police a description of the man in his vehicle. They did not see the license plate. Wallet weasel. After hanging out with a friend on a beach, a man picked up his backpack and headed to the grocery store on the 1400 block of South Dixie Highway. Attempting to make a purchase, the man quickly discovered his wallet was missing from his backpack. With the day's event likely replaying in his head, the man decided that his friend was likely not so friendly, and after locating him, began questioning him about whether he stole his wallet. Drinking a beer that the man in fact was paid for using currency from his wallet, his friend said, "Don't put me through all this pressure." Police are still following up on the case. Hold on. Yeah, this is starting to burn out my throat. Gun grabber. Rummaging through a man's vehicle in the 1000 block of Julia Heights Drive, an unknown perpetrator managed to steal 2 handguns from inside the truck. One had been left in a glove compartment and the other was in the center console. The vehicle's owner was unsure whether the truck had even been locked. Either way, the guns are now in the hands of the criminal underworld. The victim was able to provide the make, model, and serial number of both weapons. Those guns are never getting found. Auto assault. Even when property is under surveillance in an increasingly mean world, there's still a chance they can be targeted by bad people. A woman found this out when she took her audacious chance and left her vehicle unattended overnight outside her home in the 100 block of Central Boulevard. Her risk turned into some punk's opportunity as she awoke to find her car had been targeted. In addition to slashing both driver's side tires, the perpetrators pelted the vehicle with eggs. The woman said she didn't know what would cause that someone to damage her property. There are no surveillance cameras in the area. And finally, raft robbery. After arriving at her waterfront home on the 100 block south of Atlantic Drive at approximately 4 p.m., a woman noticed that a raft had been secured to her dock was missing. Though it was possible that it wasn't secured and simply floated away, surveillance footage showed the true story. In the footage, a man could be seen walking down the intercoastal waterway, walking up to the raft, and paddling away with it. And that was just from one town. We still have like 3 to go. Oh, God, my throat already hurts just the article. From Palm Beach Gardens, medicine maniac. Walking into a store and selecting a gift bag, a man began filling it with various over-the-counter medications. Expecting the man's actions would turn criminal sooner or later, the manager watches the man finish filling his bag and then walked away without paying. Though in today's crazy makes yesterday's crazy look sane world, the manager basically risked her life when she confronted the no-good thief. Fortunately, she wasn't attacked or killed, but her actions had little effect on the thief. Just ignored her, got into his car, and drove off. In all, the man stole $1,200 worth of medicine from the fucking store in the 2400 block of PGA Boulevard. The entire incident was caught on surveillance. Clean getaway. Though her execution was smooth, a woman's package theft from a residence on the 10200 block of North Military Trail likely didn't go quite as she had planned. Actually, considering the package was sitting on the front step of residency for several hours before being stolen, her plan probably involved walking by, seeing them, and taking them. Though the actual theft was captured by the resident's home surveillance, there was no footage of the thief after she opened her ill-gotten booty. Diamonds? Sapphires? Small valuable electronics? Nope! How about $18 worth of hair and face washing product? Although the retail value of the goods might have only been $18, there's no telling what they could score on the street. Driver? What driver? Parked perpendicularly behind other cars in the 300 block of Sandtree Drive, the motorist drew suspicion of onlookers who then called police. Finding the car parked improperly as described by the witness, police shined a spotlight on the vehicle, which then began to move slowly forward even after the police lights were activated. The vehicle finally came to a stop when another police cruiser pulled in front of it, blocking its path. After stopping, the driver immediately got out of the car and announced that he wasn't driving. Though the man was the only person in the vehicle and was seen by multiple police officers exiting the driver's seat, he was adamant he had not been driving. As the man attempted to guide officers through his likely false story, they were hit by a strong odor of alcoholic beverages as he spoke. All that over his shifting story and outright lies. He was then asked to take part in a roadside sobriety test. He declined and was arrested for DUI. He was later refused to provide a sample of his breath. North Palm Beach. Licenseless loser. Out for a late night, early morning cruise. The motorist had the bad luck of driving by a police officer on US 1. Why was his luck bad? Because he was driving without a license. The officer, after running the man's plate and discovering that he was licenseless, pulled him over. This was not the first time this man had. He was a repeat offender who had apparently stuck his own cycle of recidivism. In addition to driving without a license, the man also was apparently skilled in the art of illegal drug consumption, as several pieces of drug paraphernalia were discovered inside the vehicle. Then arrested, transported to jail, and his car was towed. Almost done. Lightweight loser. Riding his bicycle along West Indian Town Road near Maplewood Road at 2 a.m., a man may or may not have. He was breaking the law by having no lights or reflectors. Stopped near Corner Street. The man would reach for his wallet in front of the front pocket. While pulling out his billfold, the man also threw a small plastic baggie on the ground. Though maybe he thought he was some kind of David Copperfield, and the officers would notice a sleight of hand maneuver. He was wrong. Filled with a white powdery substance, which turned out to be cocaine, the baggie was confiscated by police. In addition to being cited for riding at night without a license, the night rider was also arrested for drug possession. Tired out. As an SUV approached him on North Alternate A1A, an officer could hear a noise coming from the vehicle. It sounded like a flat tire. As they passed each other, the officer noticed the SUV jerking to the left and right, immediately did a U-turn to catch up with a wounded vehicle. With a flattened front tire that was smoking and beginning to come apart, SUV was stopped in the 2000 block of Alternate A1A. Strong odor of alcoholic beverage on his breath. The motorist said he knew he had a flat, although he thought it was one of the rear tires. Then, telling the officer that he likely thought he was somewhere north of Albacoa, said he consumed 3 liters of beer in the evening. Though he had participated in a roadside sobriety test, he managed to do poorly on all tasks and was arrested for. He later refused to provide a breath sample. All right, hold on a second. 3 liters of beer. This is a gallon of water. This is 3.87 liters of water. Full. That man drank 2.5 gallons of beer. What a fucking lad. So just imagine taking an entire 2 liter of Coke, filling it with shitty alcohol, and that's what this man did. Also, fuck you for tired out. That's awful. And finally, Martin County Sheriff's Office. Lights out. No functioning tail lights. A vehicle began swerving from the middle lane to the outside lane and back before it eventually pulled over near the intersection of Southeast Salerno Road and Southwest Kaner Highway. No stop, the driver had some difficulty actually turning the vehicle off, fumbling with multiple buttons and levers, turning the wipers on and off. She finally found and depressed the car's on-off button. With red, glassy eyes and breath tainted with the stench of alcohol, She informed deputies that she was coming from a work party when she consumed 2 drinks. Agreeing to take part in a roadside sobriety test, she had some trouble. Difficulty following instructions and seemingly infatuated with the deputy, she began expressing herself again. Are you single? Can I hug you? Can I kiss you? At the conclusion of the test, she actually participated and she was arrested for DUI. While being transported, her demeanor shifted from flirtatious to outright rage, yelling, screaming, and banging her head on the partition inside the vehicle. She kept the same craziness while being booked in jail and later refused a breath sample. Ah, good old Florida. Yeah, the first guy totally got robbed by a prostitute, though, 100%. The woman was not in the vehicle and was likely out looking for another shower. Sure. Up addresses on map. These are better looking places than I thought they'd be. Scroll down to the other motel on the same block. Oh, never mind. This is exactly what I pictured. I live close by. Almost all of Dixie Highway is a shithole. There are a few nice pockets with mostly junkies and ladies in the night walking around. Moral of the story. Hey, the car was like a fuck you to that woman. Is it wrong? I was hoping there was a photo. Alright. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's just some overcrowded school. What does this have to do with Florida? Oh. Florida man legislators forgot to exclude closed school shooting building from capacity census, so this school in particular is at 116% student capacity. Jesus Christ. And I'm guessing this is like their school paper or something. Yeah. Major Stoneman Douglas. Fucking hell. Yeah, no, I'm not. Fuck off. I'm not reading all this. It's not even a funny story. It's just a fucked up story. And we have one late edition tonight. Florida man accused of setting statue of Jesus home on fire. I like how his beard just continues down his neck and into his chest. That's the sign of a real man. Beverly Hills, Florida. Deputies in Citrus County took a Beverly Hills, Florida man into custody. They say set church property on fire Friday morning. Deputies were initially called to Our Lady of Grace Catholic Church in Beverly Hills regarding a brush fire around 7 a.m. But after arriving, a witness told first responders that a man ran right toward the church, poured liquid out of a gasoline can on the statue of Jesus before setting them both on fire. The Citrus County Sheriff's Office said surveillance video taken from the church's cameras showed the man also trying to light a propane tanks on fire next to the church. Fucking dumbass. If that had worked, it would have blown him up. However, the arsons did not stop there as first responders were called to 2 other property fires at homes in Beverly Hills. One homeowner on South Barber Street told deputies that the fence was set on fire. According to the CCSO, the liquid believed to be gasoline was poured on the house's front door and windows. Home in South Wadsworth was also set on fire and suffered heavy damage, but no one was inside at the time, according to deputies. After reviewing the surveillance videos, the CCSO detectives identified arson suspect as James Lee Harris, 2 first names, 25 of Beverly Hills. The sheriff's office said Harris was taken into custody around 10 p.m. and confessed the fires after being read his rights. Not only is arson dangerous, but can also, in some cases, be deadly, Sheriff Mike Prendergast said. No one in our community was injured when Harris's tirade of inconceivable acts. I applaud our deputies, community crimes detectives, and our partners at Citrus County Fire Rescue for working swiftly and diligently to keep our community safe from further harm. I'd also like to thank you, our witnesses, for coming forward so quickly with invaluable information that helped us solve this crime. As part of this report, Harris is behind bars on 1 count of arson and to a dwelling, 1 count of misdemeanor criminal mischief, 1 felony count of arson to a church, and 1 count misdemeanor of criminal mischief. Yeah, that's just the face of a man who's going to do that again one day. Not all heroes wear capes. Ooh, edgy, my boy. So edgy. Oh, God. That makes me want to get my knife out of the fucking table behind me. And just, oh, I feel it flowing through me. So, in conclusion, what have we learned? We've learned that if you're gonna steal a dog, make sure the owner doesn't have a gun and will not fight back. We learned that when throwing letters at someone in a courthouse, always make sure they take the L, not the G. We learned that being sober is not an excuse for being drunk and leaving your children. We learned Florida man doesn't like cats, but is still capable of premeditated murder. We learned that the Cuban sandwich might actually be from Cuba. We learned that 400 milligrams of THC and half a bottle of Hennessy will fuck you up, but it will also prepare you for the return of our Lord and Savior. We learned pedophile incest is a thing, and I didn't need to be reminded of that. We learned never let a prostitute into your house and then fall asleep before fucking her. She will rob you. We learned that never enter the wrong house, fool, because someone will get shot. We learned Florida man is a simple man who just wants to buy a toothbrush and some flip-flops. Oh, whoops. I missed this one. This one's ancient, but this one's from last year, but it's funny, so I might as well open it up. We learned that the job crisis sucks. We learned that Florida man will at least ask to put his pants on before getting out of the car. We learned petty lawsuits make no sense if you're suing someone for less money than the fucking court cost. We learned finger guns are actually an effective means of robbing a Waffle House. We learned that World of Beer is a place, and it's a great place to start a fight club with your sisters. We learned how to jerk off with an ice pack. We learned that if you're not careful, Florida man will escape the state and harass other states. We learned what happens if you get a 5-star fucking raid or a 5-star police chase going in real life. We learned that Florida man is just live action Postal 2 LARPing, and that if you're not properly supervised, he will piss all over your house. We learned that a local brewing company has released a Florida man IPA, and then they got someone to post their shit on here. We learned Florida man likes playing on trampolines, especially naked. We learned that Florida woman doesn't realize the Nazis were the bad guys in World War II. We learned never to always lock the doors in a jewelry store when fucking customers trying on merchandise. And yeah, these are all from last week's video. Oh, with one last story, I shall leave you. Man with Florida tattoo on forehead arrested for misuse of 911 and marijuana possession. Beautiful. Also, fuck you. You forgot Key West, you little bitch. Pasco County, Florida. A Newport Richie man left his little doubt behind that he was a Florida man. His forehead can even attest to it. That doesn't feel like proper grammar. According to the police, 22-year-old Matthew Leatham was arrested early Sunday morning after he twice called 911 to find a ride home, according to court complaint notes. Leatham cursed at the call takers during the call. Arresting officers offered to call Leatham a taxi, but Leatham said he didn't have money and began walking home. Leatham then called 911 a second time to ask for a ride. The complaint states, and the officers arrested him. Leatham was then charged with misuse of 911 as well as possession of marijuana. He was released on a $300 bond. Oh, hey, it's the Jesus guy again. I moved to make this. Oh. Sure, it doesn't land in the top 10, 20, 30 of all time on here. Looks like he hurt on his face. This looks like the ideal star of Florida Man the movie. No porn. Let's see, Pasco County. Florida. You guys with tattoos, I never know if they just decide they are never going to get a suit and tie kind of job, or if they never or have to work, or if they're waiting for their inheritance. I'm Florida. Either I'm having deja vu or he's been arrested before. Or we please stop arresting people for marijuana already. Oop. Actually expand this properly. And arrest someone for something that isn't illegal, which is the case with medical weed in Florida. We can't have people smoking that jazz cabbage in our Christian neighborhood. Superman has the S. This seems about right. Of course. Richie. Florida man can't even orientate the L correctly. Okay, that's a good one. I would ask this guy, where are you from again? Every time I met him. See. You got a dick for on... What? Yeah. Well, at least he's easy to spot in a crowd. All right. And with that, I think it's time to get out of here. I would do an actual stream now of a game, but my voice is kind of fucking shot. So we'll be back Monday with more No More Heroes. We'll hopefully be able to finish it next week. And then from there, I don't know what's next on the docket. Check. And then after that, I don't know. I might actually try some PC games with my Switch Pro controller, because that's working better than I thought it would. So we might try Toho Lunar Nights. I still need to replace my PS4 controller, so Bloodborne's out, you coot. So we'll try to go through that for now, and then we'll see. So I'm going to get going. I'll see you guys Monday. My throat is sore. Oh, the quest for the controller is going fine, by the way. It's more that I'm just broke and can't buy a new one until I get my next paycheck. Because I got a paycheck last week, then all that money immediately went into bills. So next week, I'll actually be able to save some money and put some aside and buy some shit, because it's a full paycheck instead of just half one. I'll see you guys later.